Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. And I'm going to talk to you about children and children education and how we as grown-ups can support and help children in their development and hopefully development of their curiosity and creativity. As it was mentioned, we have 3 children home and ages 10, 13, and 15, all boys. And those of you who has children or your grandparents, you probably know the problem. Every time it's a weekend or it's school holidays or it's after school time and you want to do something as a family, it's hard to find something to do. It's a challenge, basically because most kids today, they have seen the whole world through YouTube, so nothing excites them anymore. And this was also the problem for us. And my partner Maria and I, we have been complaining about this for a very, very long time. So one day, the oldest turned around and said, you know what, we are so tired of listening to you guys complain about this, so why don't you do something about it? This was really, really annoying observation, because he was actually right. We were complaining for so many years and pointing at everybody else to fix this problem, and maybe we should take some lead and responsibility in this. So in November 2014, I left my job, and I registered a educational center in Malmö, Sweden, called Cool Minds. At this point of time, we had absolutely no idea how. I mean, we did know on the highest level that we want to have an inspirational educational center, but how do we reach that point? What are the activities and many other questions? We didn't have an idea. So for us, the first step was actually to ask ourselves several questions. And the first one was, what is it that we know about these creatures that we call children? The first thing that popped into our head was that they have an amazing capability to soak up knowledge in their early years, especially early years. And the second thing was that they love to play. This was genius. It was a fantastic revolution for us. What if we combine playing with learning? So that was the first thing. The second thing that we wanted to do also with this center was that we didn't want to have another school. So we didn't want children to go to school and then they go to another school. We wanted to create a very inspiring environment where it's fun to be part of it. And for that, we started to work with colors, with the design, we opened up the construction so the children, they can see into the construction, how the building is built. Lot of fun colors. We put a lot of time in this. Also, for us, was another thing that was very important, and that was to create an environment where children, they can experiment. Often, a lot of the experiments also at school is very much controlled. We wanted them to have the possibility to try. Maybe they don't succeed, but they try again, and they learn from that process. So we didn't want to control the experiments. With these thoughts, we opened Cool Minds in August 2015. And we were extremely excited, but to be honest, extremely terrified as well. We had absolutely no idea what will expect us, how the families are going to receive us, how we're going to meet the expectations of children, and especially how we're going to kind of deal with the different maturity levels and etc. Very quickly, already in the beginning of the open time, it came clear to us that we couldn't deal with this on our own. We couldn't come up with all the great ideas and fun activities for the children only by ourselves. We didn't have the capacity and capability. So we turned around to our suppliers, employees, different organizations, and we tried to kind of mobilize everyone around us, everyone that had something to do with Cool Minds, to help us come up with these things. And just to give you an idea about what we do at Cool Minds, Cool Minds is basically divided into 4 main areas. We have IT, we have electronics and technology, we have biology, chemistry, and film and media. Each area then has 4 to 5 employees taking care of that area with a team lead that is responsible for resources and planning of activities. And we have, for instance, we have schools visiting us during the day, and then after the school time, it's school after school activities, and in the weekends we have drop-in activities. And especially the weekends were quite important for us because we felt that children should have the possibility to come there and try out and experiment, and in case they feel that something is really, really fun, they can then join after-school activities, and where we dig into the topics over, for instance, 8 weeks' time, and we get deeper into the topics. And especially exposing children to other areas is very important so they can find their talents and get excited about these things. I mean, as it was told, I originally come from Iran, and there we had few options to become a very successful kid. Either you could become a doctor, or you could become an engineer, or a dentist. Why dentist? I have no idea, probably because of the high income. But nevertheless, that was those options. And even though that I moved to Denmark when I was 12 years old and lived with a foster family, which predominantly focused on humanitarian topics and music, and my options, they got expanded. But still, my early years, they had formed me to want to become an engineer. And it was pretty easy for me because I couldn't stand to look into people's mouths, so engineering seemed like a good option for me. And that was why for us it was also important to at least focus on those early years, and that was why we said, okay, the centers are the activities we offer should predominantly, at least in the beginning, focus on activities for children between ages of 5 and 15 years. We offer many different courses for the kids in biology. We have solving crimes, forensics. We do DNA and bacteria courses for children. I'm not going to go into detail about DNA. I think Ulf has already covered it pretty well. But we have owl pellets. We import brains, so children, they can dissecate those and see what is it that the owl has eaten, how does my own DNA looks like. And during these activities, children tend to ask a lot of questions, and we have always a lot of people helping these children with answering those questions. In IT, we program apps and gamings and a lot of other stuff. And especially I recall a kid, Simon, who was 12 years old, and he came to Cool Minds together with his mom. And he didn't know what interested him, and the parents didn't know what interested him. So he joined the programming course. And the introduction course is very basic. It's a drag and drop programming, and he joined that. And within a 3-month period of time, he went from that very simple visual programming to advanced Java programming. Those of you who have programmed, you know this is hard to do. And it was just amazing to see his development in those 3 months. And he got so caught up with it that he actually wanted to have his birthday in the IT room. We were quite pessimistic about that, both his mom and I. We discussed for a long time, but he insisted that that's what he wants. So we put together something for him, and he had 15 of his friends over, and they had a lot of fun during the 2 hours. And they showed each other their games and had a lot of fun with that. Another area is electronics, and there we have one of the very popular courses is that we build a robot over 8 weeks of time together with the children. And this is quite a complex process, actually, because there's a lot of soldering and components. And things go wrong from time to time, but one time it really went wrong, very much. So I was very frustrated. I went with the robots to my electronic suppliers, where I know the CEO, and he's an electronic engineer. And I said, I'm so frustrated. And then he turned around and said to me, Farzin, you are trying to do things with 8-year-old kids that we did at the university level. What did you expect? It will go wrong. But to be honest, looking now, we have done this for 1.5 years, the percentage of failure is so small, and we succeed by far more than we fail. And it's just amazing to see children actually succeeding and learning so quickly. Just for 2 weeks ago, we had a birthday party, 19 kids, and they were supposed to build a small electronic gadget within 2 hours. 2 of the children previously had joined for a summer camp at Cool Minds. We didn't know that. And after 15 minutes, they were already done. So annoying, because we didn't have any other activity for these two. And you know, 25 components rightly placed on a circuit board, soldered, it's even hard for a grown-up to do. And it worked perfectly. Parents, they typically come to Cool Minds, and they have the same problems as we have as a family. What should we do with the kids? And when they see their children sitting there for 3 hours, not moving at all, forgetting all about iPads, iPhones, and monsters they need to hunt in the near gym, they start running around and taking pictures like they're journalists. And to be honest, they want to show everyone else that my kid can sit still, and they can if it's fun, and then the learning comes as well. And I think this is absolutely our responsibility as grown-ups to make a platform that is both fun and educational, and then I'm sure that the children will follow. We just during the summer, we had our summer camp, and there we had a lot of kids joining, and one kid wanted to join 2 of his friends that had signed up for programming, but there was no seat available anymore. So he joined the electronic course. This was the next best thing, because he could be in the same building as them. On the second day, when I was going around and asking, how are you doing, how's everything, he turned around and said to me, you know what, I am so lucky that there was no seat for me in the programming, because this is so much more fun. I mean, this is really what Cool Minds is all about. We open another door for this kid. If he hadn't tried out electronics, he wouldn't know if it's fun. He would have continued with sitting in front of a computer and doing programming. So Cool Minds basically opening doors and expose children to new ideas, new subjects, and then they will choose their own way. A lot of kids today, and a lot of parents are frustrated about the fact that kids sit in front of YouTube and they have seen everything. But I honestly believe that seeing on YouTube how you do an electric engine, and then you feel like you know how to build it, it's not the same of actually doing it yourself. The learning curve that there is in actually doing, failing, redoing, and fail many times probably, but at the end succeed, it's just enormous. How Cool Minds will evolve, how the future of Cool Minds will be, I don't know. But I know for me and my family, and whoever who has been involved in Cool Minds, this has been a fantastic journey. We have had a lot of fun with it, and we hope we have touched the heart of some kids, and we have kind of opened some eyes. And we're going to continue doing that. And in case you're sitting and you're thinking, how can I help? How can I get involved? Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We will need all the help we can get. Thank you very much for listening.